in late 97, the chambers inside this, the chambers were closed to visitors for this and that due to moisture exhaled by Taurus, which raised its. Alright, so this is all off. A is no good. Due to moisture that Taurus had exhaled, thereby raising its humidity. Similar issue. Because Taurus were exhaling moisture, which had raised the humidity within them. Alright, so basically the chambers were closed because Taurus were exhaling moisture, which had raised, right? So if you were exhaling moisture, you can't say had raised. So this is inconsistent. That's why C is no good. So the chambers were closed because of moisture that was exhaled. So the chambers weren't closed because of moisture. They were closed because moisture was doing something, right? So it seems like because moisture exhaled by Taurus, the moisture had raised the humidity within them, basically within the chambers, to such levels that salt from the stone was crystallizing. Okay, so let's read that again. In 97, the chambers were closed because moisture had raised the humidity within the chambers to such levels that salt was crystallizing. Okay, so that generally seems okay, so that's probably the answer. E is the answer. Now what's going on here? We eliminated A, B, and C, and some of you might be wondering, well, in E, exhaled by Taurus versus was exhaled, they both have had raised. No, actually that's this one. They both had raised, were exhaling versus exhaled by. Well, the difference is exhaled by Taurus, this is just a descriptive phrase describing moisture, whereas in C, the Taurus were exhaling moisture. This is an action. So this is not really a descriptive phrase. So the difference here is in E, we're still talking about moisture, but the moisture had raised, right? So this is the subject and this is the verb. This is exhaled by Taurus is simply the fluff. It's basically a descriptive phrase. So really it's the moisture had raised the humidity within the chambers. Now when you read this sentence, don't waste time in the beginning when it's not underlined. The chambers inside the pyramid, this is descriptive phrase and it's fluff. Inside the pyramid of this thing at Giza. So we have three prepositional descriptive phrases that you do not need to read, and it's not really the core of the sentence. The core of the sentence is in late 97, the chambers were closed. That's it. The chambers were closed to visitors for cleaning and repair, because moisture was doing something, right? It's not because of moisture that was blah, 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 blah. And this answer choice has more problems. Because of moisture, what kind of moisture? The kind that was exhaled by Taurus, because of moisture raising the humidity within them, and then to levels so high as to make the salt from the stone crystallize. So the wording here is a little bit more complex, and it's not really because of moisture that was doing this. It was because moisture was doing something, right? So the of here can be removed, and that's why answer choice E is the correct answer. So as a recap, this is a long sentence. We cut the fluff when we read the sentence to save time and to better understand the question. Then we focus in on, what the rationale is for the chambers to close. The chambers were closed due to this reason or because of that reason. Because of this stuff, or because moisture that was exhaled by Taurus, because moisture had raised, right? So in this past period, it was closed because at the time, the Taurus had raised the humidity, and that was causing the salt to be crystallizing. So that's why answer choice E is the correct answer.